Welcome to continued coverage of the Axiom 4 mission that launched from Kennedy Space Center at 2:31 a.m. Eastern earlier today to begin their journey up to the International Space Station. Here in just a few minutes, we will hear from the Ax-4 crew live on orbit from Dragon. I'm Paul Wizakowski, a strategic space storyteller for Axiom Space based in Charlotte, North Carolina.
And I'm Ronnie Foreman, a senior sales manager here at SpaceX in Hawthorne, California. So as Paul mentioned earlier today at 2:31 a.m. Eastern, the Ax-4 crew, on a mission that realizes the return of human spaceflight missions for India, Poland, and Hungary, lifted off aboard SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket and Dragon spacecraft from historic Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The Ax-4 crew has now been in orbit for just over 23 hours, and since that great liftoff that we had shots of on your screen just a moment ago, they've taken off their spacesuits. We call that doffing in the space industry. Then they checked in with our medical team, got comfortable inside Dragon, they ate a meal, they took a rest period, and as our crew prepared to arrive at the International Space Station, so has our spacecraft. At this point, Dragon has completed the phase burn, which is the first of 5 major burns required to raise Dragon's orbit and position it for its approach to the International Space Station.
I love it. And while we wait for the crew to reach the best position for a clear signal from Dragon, let's take a moment to introduce them to you. The commander of our flight today, Peggy Whitson, is now a 2-time commander for Axiom Space, having previously served aboard AX-2. This mission marks her 5th mission to space and will extend her record for the most time in space by an American. A 2025 inductee into the Astronaut Hall of Fame, Peggy serves as Axiom Space's Director of Human Spaceflight.
Dragon SpaceX, we're approximately 4 minutes out from our media event, so last set of instructions for you. Once we get video at the start of the ground pass, I will instruct you to start a timer so you can monitor the event duration. Reminder, that's 19 minutes. After that, I will say, Dragon, you are go for the event, and that is a call that cues the SpaceX media team to start the event. Once you hear that call, wait 5 seconds, and then begin. Any questions?
Copy. Start a timer. 19 minutes total. It's what we're expecting, and we'll give you 5 seconds after you make the call before we begin.
All right, that's a good readback. And final bit of advice, look good, sound good. You guys will knock it out of the park.
Putting a lot of pressure on us.
So great confirmation there from our crew communicating with our core here at SpaceX Mission Control, and also a good preview for us. So next up on our mission today is mission pilot Shubanshu Shukla from the Indian Air Force, and he is taking his inaugural trip to low Earth orbit. Representing the Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, Shuks is also an astronaut designate of India's inaugural human spaceflight effort, Gaganyaan, which is currently in development.
And then our third crew member for today's mission is mission specialist Sławomir Wisniewski of Poland. He is representing the European Space Agency as a project astronaut, coming from the reserve class of 2022. A scientist by trade, he spent 2 years as the engineer in charge of the world-famous Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, beginning in 2018.
And rounding out our crew, we have mission specialist Tibor Kapu of Hungary. Tibor emerged as one of 4 Hungarians selected for the Hungarian to Orbit astronaut program, also known as HUNOR. And together they are the crew of Ax-4, Axiom Space's 4th private astronaut mission to the International Space Station.
In addition to representing the return to spaceflight for India, Poland, and Hungary in over 40 years, this mission also highlights the growing opportunities for nations and entities around the world to conduct meaningful work in low Earth orbit through private astronaut missions. Their time on station will feature up to 14 days docked to the orbiting laboratory, where they will conduct over 60 research activities representing 31 different countries. That's a lot of goodness for them to be doing up there, and we are excited to get them there.
I'm excited to see them get to station, do their welcome ceremony later today.
Absolutely.
But I think from that point on, they're going to be pretty busy. They've been busy in Dragon so far, like I mentioned earlier, getting ready for their arrival. And we on the ground are obviously monitoring them every step of the way. You heard Mission Control talking to the crew earlier. We actually staff Mission Control 24 hours, 7 days a week. Anytime we have a crew on station, we're always monitoring that Dragon spacecraft.
And while they're still several hours out from that, here we are, getting a moment to check in with them, see how they're doing, hear from them directly. And to think that they are currently over the Earth right now, going 17,500 miles an hour, completing an orbit every 90 minutes. This is truly a special moment for them that we get to join in.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear from them. There's a great image on your screen right now of where they are over the Earth. So for 3 of our crew members today, this is their first time in low Earth orbit. And as we heard them on the nets earlier, they sound excited. Sounds like it's going to be good.
Oh, I think so. And I know we're just a few minutes out, but this crew still has just over 5 hours to go before docking with the International Space Station. So here in a moment, we expect to hear directly from them about their first hours in microgravity, and certainly we're very eager to share that with everyone today.
So as you might imagine, communicating with a spacecraft that is moving 17,500 miles per hour requires a lot of planning and very precise timing. Part of that, which you know if you've joined us on previous crew missions, is that we can only talk to the crew when they're flying over a designated ground station. The amount of time that we have connectivity with the crew varies depending on the location of the ground station and the position of the spacecraft on orbit. Now, as you heard us talking about earlier with our commander, Peggy Whitson, for this particular opportunity today, we expect to have 19 minutes to hear from the crew.
Dragon SpaceX, you can start a timer, and then you are go for the event.
There you have it.
Welcome, Earthlings, from Grace. We are in the newest capsule, Dragon capsule, and we are very happy with her. She's got a little bit of a new spacecraft smell, and we're loving her a bunch. It's so much fun to be up in space again. Always fun to be in space, but it's really fun to be in space with 3 new astronauts. And they've got a lot to share with you, but we just wanted to welcome you on board, Grace.
And we are here not only 4 of us, but we have with us our ZOG indicator, Joy, that started to float with us just when we injected into orbit. Joy is floating with us all over the capsule, so sometimes we have to find him and her here with us. But it's an amazing feeling to be in orbit for the first time. When I unbuckled for the first time, I didn't feel 100%, but then everything settled, and when I looked out through the window for the first time, the view was just stunning.
Where we are.
Now we are flying over Europe. We have just before this conference, we saw passing Italy, Sicily, the Greek islands, and the Balkans, and now we are going a bit slightly up north, so towards Hungary and Poland a bit on the side. So yes, this is a great moment to be able to see back on Europe, on home, on our countries, and yes, Peggy, you can show the view through the window. Okay. And over to Shooks.
Hello everyone, Namaskar from space. I'm thrilled to be here with my fellow astronauts, as Peggy said, 1 veteran and 3 rookies, and wow, what a ride it was. Frankly, when I was sitting in the capsule in Grace yesterday on the launch pad, my only thought in my mind was that let's just go. After 30 days of quarantine, it was a feeling that I just wanted to go. The excitement and all was, probably far away. It was just the feeling that let's just leave here. But when the ride started, it was something like you're getting pushed back into the seat. It was an amazing ride. And then suddenly, nothing. everything silenced, and you were just floating. You unbuckle, and you were just floating in the silence of vacuum. It was an amazing feeling. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has been a part of this. I understand that this is not a personal accomplishment. It is a collective achievement of each and every one of you who has been a part of this journey. And to make this possible, I really want to thank each one of you. Also to family and friends, your support has mattered so much. This is so much because of all of you guys. We showed you joy and grace. This is swan, a great symbol. It looks really cute, but we have a very important swan in our Indian culture, which we are about. Swan symbolizes wisdom. It also has the ability to discern it should be focused on and what does not. So basically, the golden age of distraction, I would say. So this means a lot more, not just a zero-G indicator for us. And I think that we all have symbolism in Poland and in Hungary, in India as well. So I think this looks like a coincidence, but it is not. That it has more meaning than what we are attaching it to it. The capsule itself, Grace, has been very kind. I was not feeling very great when we, got shot into the vacuum. But since yesterday, I've been told that I've been sleeping a lot, which is a good sign. So I think that's a great sign. I'm getting used to this quite well, enjoying the views, enjoying the entire experience, learning like a baby, learning the new steps, learning how to walk, learning how to control yourself, everything, learning how to eat, I think. So it's a new environment, new challenge, and I'm really enjoying this experience with my fellow astronauts here. And it's good to make mistakes, but it's better to see somebody else do that too. So it has been a fun time up here. That is all I have to say. Thank you so much, guys, for making this happen, and I'm sure that we are going to have a great time. And with this, I will hand over to Tibor now.
Alright, hi everyone from space. Üdvözlök mindenkit a világűrből. We had an amazing ride, as Shuk said. We were actually only a few seconds away from a few more days of quarantine. So even though we were sitting basically almost 3 hours in our capsule, our new capsule, and those times could be sometimes a little bit boring, we had those minutes and seconds when it was actually very, very exciting, even before the launch. When the launch happened, it was a feeling that I could not predict. We have been trying to prepare for those minutes and seconds for a long time, including the centrifuge training, including fighter jet trainings as well. But the rocket launch is completely something else. I was really, really happy that we could do this finally, and we also wanted to thank you for thanks for everyone around the world, and every person, every team who made this beautiful day happen, because finally our day came. When it comes to joy, a team that has joy is a team that is healthy. I think those words resonate with this crew the most. But it's not only us; it's all the teams around the world that we have been privileged to work with in the last year. Every time we look at her, we think of those people as well. We had so much fun, so much happiness during this year. All those happy moments are gathered and culminated in one little swan. And maybe some other words. This plush is actually a tribute to the one and single son in the crew, Sid, because he's a son of Shuk's, and he loves animals. So every time when I look at Joy, I also think about the hopeful future because of that. And a few words on Grace. I think we have a very deep connection with her. She's taking care of us really, really well. And this is her first time in space. And also the same goes for the three of us. So I think this is a deep connection. We love her. She's taking care of us. I wanted to say before that, Grace Grace flies pretty loudly, but that's only true for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Ever since then, we have been really quiet in space. When it comes to the first impressions of Earth, all right, we have some things to show you guys. Since this was the first flight of Grace, we also inaugurated her. And when it comes to SpaceX Dragon capsule to fly for the first time, we put our patch in her. So Peggy will show you that we had our first ceremony as well in Grace. So we gave her our patch.
And like on our patch, the Earth is in the center of the patch. This is exactly how we see the view from here, from Grace, from up the orbit. We all four here represent quite a big chunk of the planet. That's what we think. We come from 3 different continents. We come from 4 different countries, with India, obviously the big country, but the United States, and as well both of us representing the European Union and our countries, Poland and Hungary. Altogether, we represent something around between 25 to 30% of the global population. And that's what drove us, and how we look out the window. We see all of you back home, and hundreds of people who were working on the mission, hundreds of trainers that we met, hundreds of principal investigators, scientists, technologists, engineers, and who were working on science complements for our missions, but as well thousands or millions of students, kids and adults, people back home following our mission. So all this mission is thanks to you, and we represent all of you here in space. When we met for the first time, we have selected the motto for our mission was space for everyone, and I really feel that this became even more true now, but it became true for me when we met for the first time. It felt like a team from the early beginning, and we just got better, more, knowing each other in a better way, and we will try to do our best when we dock to the International Space Station. So this is the moment we can't wait.
और नमस्कार, एक छोटा सा संदेश मेरे सारे देशवासियों के लिए। कुछ ही देर कल 1 महीने क्वारंटीन में रहने के बाद कल हम लोग लॉन्च पैड 39 से लॉन्च हुए, जहां से पहली मून लैंडिंग, जहां से अपोलो 11 मिशन भी लॉन्च हुआ था। और इस समय स्पेस में बहुत ही ज़्यादा उत्साह, बहुत ही ज़्यादा प्राउड फील कर रहा हूँ। और जब हम लॉन्च कर रहे थे तो मेरे स्पेस सूट पे तिरंगा मेरे शोल्डर्स पे था, जो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं ये याद दिला रहा था कि मैं अकेले ये जर्नी नहीं अंडरटेक कर रहा हूँ, बल्कि आप सब मेरे साथ हैं और इस जर्नी का एक हिस्सा हैं। तो ये आईएसएस तक जाने के लिए मेरी एक जर्नी की शुरुआत है एक तरह से। अभी हम लोग कुछ ही घंटों में आईएसएस में डॉक करेंगे और फिर हम इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन पे जाके रहेंगे। बट कहीं ना कहीं ये भी दर्शाता है कि ये भारत के ह्यूमन स्पेस प्रोग्राम की एक छोटा सा स्टेप पर एक बहुत सॉलिड और स्टेडी स्टेप है उस डायरेक्शन में जिस तरफ हम जा रहे हैं गगनयान जैसे मिशन को लेके। तो मैं चाहता हूं कि आप सब मेरी इस जर्नी का हिस्सा बने, आप भी उतना ही प्राउड फील करें जितना मैं फील कर रहा हूं, बिकॉज ये सब हमारे केवल टेक्निकल एकम्प्लिशमेंट को नहीं दर्शाता है, बल्कि हमारे ये होप्स, ये हमारे एम्बिशंस, ये हमारे एस्पिरेशंस को दर्शाता है कि हम किस तरफ जाना चाहते हैं। तो आइए मेरे साथ इस जर्नी का हिस्सा बनिए। मेरी पूरी कोशिश रहेगी कि अगले 14 दिनों में मेरा जो मिशन एकम्प्लिशमेंट है, जो टास्क है, वो तो मैं अचीव करूं ही, बट ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इस एक्सपीरियंस को मैं किस तरह से अपनी फ़ोटोज़ और वीडियोज़ में कैप्चर करूं ताकि मैं वापस आके आप लोगों के साथ इसे शेयर कर सकूं। मैं चाहता हूं कि आप मेरे थ्रू ये जर्नी एक्सपीरियंस करें और इसका हिस्सा बने। एंड चलिए अगले 14 दिन को एक्साइटिंग बनाते हैं और साथ में स्पेस में रहते हैं। धन्यवाद।
És akkor végezetül szeretnék minden magyarhoz szólni a világűrből. És azt hiszem, hogy rövid leszek, mielőtt még elérzékenyülnék, vissza fogom adni a mikrofont. Tudom, hogy mennyire vártátok ezeket a pillanatokat otthon. Hasonlóan voltunk ezzel mi is. Az egyetlen dolog, amit igazából sajnálok az egész küldetés és felkészülés során, hogy amikor ezek a várakozás pillanatai megtörténtek otthon a kis országunkban, akkor én nem lehettem veletek, de erre majd sor kerül majd a küldetés után nem sokkal. Rettetesen hálás és büszke vagyok, hogy magyarként itt lehetek, és tényleg egy különleges érzés volt percekkel ezelőtt látni a kis országunkat a világűrből. Remélem, hogy ti is ennyire büszkék lesztek erre a küldetésre, mint én. Még találkozunk.
Thank you guys. Drogie Polki, drodzy Polacy, mówię do Was z niskiej orbity okołoziemskiej. Jesteśmy na pokładzie kapsuły Grace. Z nami również indykator 0G, który się nazywa Joy, jako 5. pasażer, ale tutaj przylecieliśmy, żeby reprezentować Was wszystkich, nasze kraje, ale w tym również Polskę. Ja jestem reprezentantem Was wszystkich i lecimy na Międzynarodową Stację Kosmiczną po to, żeby wykonywać nasze eksperymenty technologiczne, pokazywać naszą technologię, jednocześnie przygotowywać przyszłość technologiczną Polski, nie tylko dla nas, ale dla całego sektora kosmicznego, dla nowej generacji inżynierów, którzy będą wkraczać na rynek. Natomiast misja z jednej strony jest ogromnym symbolem zaawansowania Polski, jak Polska bardzo mocno poszła do przodu technologicznie i możemy dzisiaj to zademonstrować bezpośrednio na orbicie. Natomiast z orbity również będę miał możliwość przeprowadzania lekcji ze studentami, z uczniami z powrotem na Ziemi. Mam nadzieję, że niektórzy z nich wybiorą ścieżkę kariery taką jak ja. Miałem okazję pracować w niesamowitych organizacjach podczas mojego życia, w jednym z największych laboratoriów naukowych na świecie, w CERNie, zanim zostałem wybrany jako astronauta, a teraz zmierzamy na Międzynarodową Stację Kosmiczną, na to nasze niesamowite laboratorium na orbicie. Pozdrawiam Was wszystkich, reprezentuję Was wszystkich, 40 milionów Polaków. Zabieram Wasze serca, Waszą nadzieję ze sobą i czuję, że wszyscy mi tutaj towarzyszycie. Pozdrawiam Was i do zobaczenia już ze stacji kosmicznej. Dziękuję.
Somewhere we lost our commander. We need to find it, even though it's such a small space. So I would like her to come and say a few words for us, please.
Well, everyone knows how much I like to talk. Anyways, it's just been a great experience so far. We're really looking forward to it. We have a lot of science here down below us, and we're looking forward to getting on board the International Space Station and getting that underway. We have a lot of very high scientific goals, but obviously realizing the return of these 3 countries to space is very special.
All right, everybody, thank you very much for bringing us on board your capsule and giving us a little bit of insight into your experience. That concludes our event for today.
What a beautiful moment. I love seeing the four of them together. They have truly become a team, a crew. They come from four different corners of the world, four different cultures, and yet, as you just saw in that moment, they are doing life together. They are doing this mission as a family. Oh, and look at that. Another shot out of the window, looking back at our home, the Earth. It doesn't get any better than that. Live of planet Earth. A couple of things stood out there, Ronnie, that I was hearing from each of them. Obviously, we got to hear from Peggy and Shubanshu, Sławomir, and Tibor there, both in English and in each of their own languages. But Tibor had a comment there. A team that has joy is a team that is healthy. And that resonates. That they are clearly a healthy unit, a healthy team, full of joy, both in terms of their own persona and their zero-G indicator. It was incredible to see them, and we wish them well in the coming hours to get to this International Space Station. So it's incredible to think that they were here on Earth in Florida just a few, say 12 hours ago, and now, as you saw them, they're orbiting our planet 17,500 miles an hour, heading to the ISS, to the International Space Station. So as our crew continues to approach their destination, we all now turn our attention to that moment where they're going to rendezvous and dock with the space station. That is scheduled for 4 a.m. Pacific, 7 a.m. p.m. Eastern.
Well, our coverage is going to end here for now. Be sure to tune back in for our live docking coverage with NASA, starting at 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern on SpaceX, on X at SpaceX.com, AxiomSpace.com, and NASA Plus. In the meantime, please also check out our social media accounts for other updates. Thank you so much for joining us for this incredible live on-orbit event, and we will see you again real soon for Ax-4 arrival at the International Space Station.